the flexibility of our platform, and their discounts will stay consistent for their on-demand. With our competitors, if you use on-demand, there is no discounting. But the way that committed use works on IBM Cloud is you still get to take advantage of discounting even if you provision a system and only use it for a month. And this has additional benefits as you're using the environment and scaling it up and scaling down. It's not necessarily that the customer is over consuming or under consuming. Our tools such as Cool Tool and the Cloud Solutioning Tool will help to model this out. And then we scope to that customer's use over that duration of time and then sell them a subscription or a contract based on that. And then based on their usage patterns, they can scale up and scale down without penalty and still continue to take advantage of discounting based on their need. We now move the model out just a little bit further. And what we're also considering here is bandwidth cost. With VMware on IBM Cloud, the majority of our VMware solutions have no additional metering costs for the backbone network usage. And then also on our classic VLAN solution, when you include gateway and firewall services, you're also provided a bandwidth allocation on the public side, which can completely negate potentially any public bandwidth cost. In this model here, we are estimating that there is 40 terabytes of public traffic and 60 terabytes of private traffic, and then what type of cost impact does that have across the different providers? A lot of customers and partners, unfortunately, when they're doing price comparisons, they're really trying to make an apples to apples comparison on an instance cost. They're not considering the other consumptive fees that may come out of operating on different cloud environments. And because uniquely we don't meter for that private network usage in the majority of our VMware solutions, and we can also provide bandwidth allocations with many of our solutions on our gateway and firewall services, this can have a huge impact for those customers. This is an ideal scenario that I've laid out, but it is one that's very likely for many customers. We're assuming that they've used 40 terabytes of public bandwidth. In the solution that's scoped here, there is gateway services that have 40 terabytes of bandwidth included, 2 instances, and a high availability configuration, both providing 20 terabytes each, would give 40 terabytes of bandwidth to this environment. So if the customer consumes that 40 terabytes of bandwidth, and then also uses bandwidth on the network of the private network, they wouldn't incur any additional cost. This really keeps our price constant. So what we were working through just before, the price pretty much stays the same. This is looking at a 36-month horizon, not a 1 year. So we're considering that there's 27 months of constant usage over that 3-year horizon, and then 9 months of scale up over that 3-year term. And then we've also done some considerations on their bandwidth usage. So the further the term is, the longer the usage, and by being able to benefit from our on-demand model and these bandwidth allocations that we provide and not metering for that private network has big impacts in price. You can see here that our cost is estimated to be around $1 million over that 3-year period of time for a 10-node configuration. And our competitors are anywhere from 1.9 to 1.6 million in cost, which is a pretty big delta in comparison. This is just a nice chart that starts to lay out all of those options that I had walked through, just kind of in a simple one-stop shop kind of view. We're going to go even further in many of these examples. We'll go beyond 32 cores to do more of a comparison across multiple instance options on our competitors. But at 32 cores, it's really an optimal configuration of license to the number of cores. And it's a good place to start. Anything smaller, you're just leaving investment on the table. But as you go bigger, you can get larger density improvement. You can also get access to larger memory configurations. And this could have a big optimization impact for customers from an operational standpoint. And you'll likely see similar savings and a competitive posture that we've laid out here with this 32 comparison.